Hi everyone, it's Liz, the Frugal Libertarian, and I want to talk a little bit about what it takes to alter the Constitution of the United States. Basically, I had a friend freaking out because an article title that she got off of George Takei's Facebook page said that President Trump is destroying the First Amendment, he's taking the steps to change it, and it's going to ruin the right of free speech in America. And I had to go and explain to her that's just not possible. I remember back in your middle school civics class, there are three branches of the federal government: the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. Each has its own unique purpose, yet each is a check and balance of what the other does. So none of them have total power. None of them can act unilaterally of the others, and each branch is responsible for making sure that the actions of the other branches remain legal and constitutionally valid. With that in mind, first of all, what they were saying was, again, Trump is going to destroy the Constitution. He's taking the steps to have the First Amendment changed, and he's going to change it. He can't. There are only two ways the Constitution can be changed. One is by a 2/3 majority vote in both houses of Congress, so the House of Representatives and the Senate vote an approval on a measure. And the other way would be if 2/3 of the states gather together in a constitutional Congress to override the federal government and basically put through an amendment on their own. So far, that has never happened. All amendments have been done by the two houses of the federal Congress. After Congress has voted on it, it does not go to the president. You see, in a normal legislative capacity, laws are then handed over to the president to either sign and approve or veto and end. However, a constitutional amendment or a change to the amendments does not go to the White House for approval or veto. Instead, it gets sent to the states. When it goes to the states, 3/4 of all of the states have to ratify the amendment, meaning they sign an approval of it. Currently, we have 50 states. It would take 38 states to ratify any amendment or change to an amendment that already exists. At no time can the president either A, write a law, technically, if you want to get technical, or B, change the Constitution all on his own with no kind of authority, with no checks and balances, nobody else doing anything, just him sitting there scribbling it down. It doesn't happen that way. He doesn't have the power. It doesn't exist. The question of executive order, technically any executive order must be legal, meaning it has to follow the rules of the Constitution. And that's where some of Trump's executive orders have come into trouble with different judges. Some judges have said that they are unconstitutional and then stopped them. Again, that's kind of the check and balance. But what my friend was afraid of is Trump is just going to unilaterally change the Constitution, or he's going to write a new law that says the First Amendment doesn't exist, kind of thing. What she was referencing instead, and what the article she was using quite poorly, and I kind of read it and said, this seems like garbage to me. This is just somebody freaking out. One of the things Trump promised on the campaign trail was that he wanted to, quote, open up libel and slander laws so that when a member of the press says something that they know to be factually untrue, they can be sued. Slander and libel are charges that are held at the state level. Slander and libel is actually a civil matter. It's not a criminal matter. Slander is when somebody verbally says something about someone else they know to be untrue, but they repeat it or they say it, and libel is when it is written, printed, and distributed. Both of those come with some caveats to them in order to successfully win a case, which again would be you versus the person who said or wrote it, not, you know, the government against them for lying. It doesn't work that way. You have to sue them personally. It's a civil matter. That's why it's handled by the states. You would have to, first of all, prove that they said it and that other people heard it. You then have to prove that it is factually untrue and that they knew it when they said it or distributed it. And then it has to go further than that, believe it or not. The proof has to go even further than that. You have to prove that them saying or printing that untrue thing about you, which they did maliciously, knowing it wasn't true but did it anyway, that it caused you monetary damage. Meaning, if it hurt your reputation, did you lose business? Did you lose a job? Did somebody come and physically attacked you, which caused you physical and financial damages? You have to prove that what they did actually damaged you. And if you can't prove that, it's no longer slander or libel anymore. So when Trump is talking about freeing up slander and libel, there's not much he can do about it. And it's kind of an empty promise. Which is, again, why all the people flipping out about he's destroying the First Amendment, he's so aggressive towards the press. The president is not supposed to be cozy with the press. The press and the president are supposed to be antagonistic. All politicians and all press are supposed to be antagonistic to each other. The press are supposed to hold them accountable and ask them questions. By extension, the politician is supposed to rise up to the occasion and either better themselves or be able to defend their actions to the press. It's not supposed to be, oh my God, Mr. President, you're amazing. Him, thank you. That's not the press job. Honestly, the only way any of this could be changed in any way that people think it might be would be if Trump had enough sympathetic people in Congress who would be willing to write laws or vote to change the First Amendment to what he wants it to be. However, I don't think there's enough favorable people there. There's certainly no 2/3 majority, and he's not going to get a 2/3 majority of all the states to go into a continental Congress to amend the Constitution to do what he wants. It's just not possible. So if that's something that's been bothering you, I hope this has comforted you. If this is stuff you haven't heard of since middle school or high school, just keep it all in perspective. I hope I really explained why it is that President Trump will have no effect on this. Please let me know if I did not and you have more questions. Leave it in the comments. I really appreciate them. And I will see you with my next video. Thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.